Hi guys, welcome back to another episode of Movie Madness, the show where I take a movie, break it down and talk to you guys a wee bit about it and give you my thoughts and feelings. So, no review on this, it's not really a review, just a little video to tell you how I like the film and why I like it so much and what it means to me. So, yeah, the show, this episode today is basically picking up from a previous episode last week. This episode's actually, we're talking about Superman 2, 1980. We'll talk about the Richard Lester version. I was thinking about, I will make a video at some point about the Richard Donner cut, because that's like a movie in itself, and I think people that haven't seen it, that are big Superman fans, should see that cut. But we're going to talk about the original cut first, the Richard Lester version. Now this film, I talked about Superman the movie last week, and the reason I wasn't going to talk about Superman 2 at first, and then I decided that I will do Superman 2. The reason being is because that is basically a second part. It's almost like a two-parter. It's almost, if you could watch these films back to back, and they were actually shot. Some of it was actually started shooting back to back, Richard Donner did before he got fired, and then I think they went back again about a year later or something and picked it all up for the Richard Lester version. So, I mean, definitely Superman 2 probably is, if not is, the best Superman movie in my opinion. I mean, it's right up there with Man of Steel, definitely. Superman the movie is great. Superman the movie is the most well-known one, because it's the one that started it all. But definitely Superman 2, in my opinion, is the best one. Out of the whole Christopher Reeve, the 4 films that Christopher Reeve did, Superman 2 is the better one. And that's what I like about Man of Steel, because Man of Steel, Superman the movie is the origin story, right? We all know how he got there and basically saving people and where he's working and stuff like that. And you get to know not only him but Clark Kent as well. So they're establishing the Superman character, plus you're seeing Lex Luthor, and that's what makes Superman good. In the beginning of Superman the movie, it basically shows you, Zod and these villains, or Zod and his group, and what happens to them before Superman gets blasted off. So in the Superman 2, it basically shows you them breaking out, how they get out, and what happens to them, and how they get on the Earth. And so I love Man of Steel because I really love Superman 2. And I mean, back in the day, I think origin stories, that was just the way it was. They made an origin story, they dealt with that, and then when they got to the second movie, that's when you got your best, that's when you got your action. Do you know what I mean? That's when you got everything. Was just, they've established who Superman is, the character Superman, and that's in, the second movie. They would always, it's like second act, it would always it would just be non-stop action, and that's, I mean, it's almost like Batman Begins. They did it with Batman Begins. Batman Begins had the same thing, where it was an origin story establishing who he is, his training. There's a bit of, action and stuff like that towards the end of some villain that's but they did the same thing with, when it got to the Dark Knight, they saved the best villain for the big action. It would make no sense to release the Joker on that first movie, like Batman Begins, because you wouldn't see much of him. So they take a small villain, and then they use him. So you've got somebody, and then you get the big villain. And that's the same thing with Superman the movie. They did it with that. They released a villain that's always going to be there regardless. He's not going to die off. And they did it with Lex Luthor. It's just this villain that's just always going to be pulling the strings. And the big villain is Zod in Superman's world. But Man of Steel sort of dealt with that differently. I was going into Man of Steel thinking, oh, here we go, an origin story, they're going to have to do the whole thing again, we know how Superman's, and start the whole thing again. But they did that, but they dealt with it in a certain way that it was quick. It's almost as if like Superman the movie and Superman 2 was all merged into one film, and I think they dealt with it pretty good, because looking at it, you can kind of see certain elements to Superman the movie and Superman 2 on it. But Superman 2, definitely, as much as the effects are outdated today, I still think the effects in that movie are brilliant. It's a great story. There's a lot of... It's very hard because, like... I mean, I grew up with Superman 2, and it was another one of these films that I wore the tape out because I watched it constantly and constantly and constantly and constantly and on and on and on. That's what that movie went. And I became very, very big... like Superman fan through that film. I love Christopher Reeve from both of them films, but Superman 2 I watched it constantly because I always loved the action bit towards the end, and I loved the fight scene in the city. And the same thing with Man of Steel, they kind of did the same thing. And Man of Steel, I think they took it a wee bit too much with the trashing and that, but it's good because they're wrapping that up with Batman versus Superman. And they're dealing with that. They're not just sweeping it under the rug, which I quite like. Very, very, very good. Superman 2, if you haven't checked it out. Now, going back to what I says about the Richard Donner cut. Now that I've seen the Richard Donner cut, before then I'd still watch Superman 2, the original, the theoretical cut with Richard Lester. I would still watch it today. It still holds up to me. There's a few things in it that I kind of look at and go, what was that all about? But as a kid, you thought it was cool, like the whole cellophane S off his chest and flinging it at the bad guy like that. Like, what is that? Do you know what I mean? But you know, when you were a kid and you watched it, you didn't ask questions. You just sort of believed it. You just sort of thought that it was part of his powers, whatever it was. So the same thing with this. But the thing with Richard Donner cut, there's changes in that makes certain things to me feel a bit better, and then there are certain things in the Richard Lester that I prefer. So it's very, very hard to tell you more about it. I will make a video, like I say, about the Richard Donner cut at some point. I'm not planning to do it in the next few weeks anyway. I wasn't actually planning to make this video. I just thought to myself that the reason I would make the video for this and speak about Superman 2 is to continue off. I talked about Superman the movie, so it is kind of continuation. Very like the way Star Trek 2, the Wrath of Khan, is a continuation to, you know, Star Trek 3, The Search for Spock, and then obviously that's sort of continuation to The Voyage Home. So that's a trilogy. You can say the same thing with Back to the Future Part 2 and 3. The reason I'm saying the same thing with Back to the Future Part 2 and 3 is because they were shot back to back. Superman the movie and Superman 2 were shot simultaneously. That was a difference there. They were shooting Superman the movie one week, and then was Richard Donner shooting Superman 2, so they were kind of all over the place. But they knew where they were heading. Even Richard Lester took over the reins. They were still heading the same direction, continuation of the story. And Back to the Future Part 2 and 3, they knew what they were doing. They were continuing the story that quick. You can't really say the same for Back to the Future Part 1, even though it continues on to the second film. But they didn't have a plan for that back then. They just did that as a running joke. So that's why I don't really count that in a sense. But when you watch them all together, you can see that it all makes sense towards the end. But yeah, definitely, if you haven't seen Superman 2, it's definitely one to watch. Very, very good. Terence Stamp as Zod, a great villain. Very intimidating villain. I mean, the outfits are outdated and there's stuff like that cloth kind of material that we're wearing. It's not like Man of Steel. So if you've seen Man of Steel and you're going into this, you will be kind of like, you know, what is this I'm watching? But it's really good. It really is. I mean, for its day, I mean, you got to take back, jump in a time machine. If you've not seen Man of Steel, jump into a time machine and see Superman 2. Just imagine you're there. You've not seen Man of Steel. Wipe Man of Steel completely, and you will enjoy it. I mean, it really is a good film, entertaining film. And actually, I'm kind of thinking about watching it after this video. So, let me know, guys. Is Superman 2 your favourite Superman movie? Do you think it's the best Superman movie ever made? let me know your thoughts and feelings, guys, in the comments below. I'm always interested to know. Don't forget to subscribe for more. I will be doing a lot of more movie madnesses. I've got certain things, I've got almost a wee list built up, and I will be, you know, getting to certain videos at some point. So thanks very much, guys, for watching this video. I'll see you in the next Movie Madness episode. Take care, guys. Bye bye.